Hey there, Mark O'Donnell here. I am often asked, what's the best advice that I would give a young person who's just starting out? Is it follow your passion and do what you love, or is it something else? Well, here's what I have for you. And it is definitely not follow your passion and do what you love. I believe those things are earned over time. And when you're just starting out, you don't know what those things are yet because you just haven't experienced much. And so my number one, I have a few things here. Number one is to just create a really clear goal. Create a clear vision for what you want for yourself or what you think you want for yourself, and focus on the result that you want to achieve. Write it down, hand write it down. If you can write it, hand write it, you're just that much more likely to achieve it. You can put it in a journal. There's lots of formats for that all over the place, but just write down what you want. And also know that it's okay if that changes over time. You just have to be shooting for something. Once you have that thing and you're pretty clear on what it is that you want, or at least it sounds good at the time, you really need to create a plan. And so you want to break down that goal into smaller, more manageable steps and really create a clear plan of action. What are you going to do this quarter? Next quarter? Map it out 90 days at a time, and you're just that much more likely to be able to make this manageable and make progress incrementally over time. The third thing that I would offer is that you need to create some self-discipline. And so this is really about creating the habits, everything, the personal accountability, the self-generated motivation to follow through on your plan and stay focused on your goal. What do you want to get at the end of your journey, your short-term journey, not of course your life journey. That you will always set bigger and better goals. There's a concept called the adjacent possible, and what that says is that you'll move through, you achieve a goal. Once you achieve it, you'll look around, and all of a sudden new opportunities open up to you, and it's really up to you to take those divine hints and follow and open the doors. And as you move through this journey, more and more opportunities will be available to you. But you have to create the self-discipline to follow through on your plan and stay focused on that goal. Next is expand your knowledge. And I want to call this do one thing. Orville Redenbacher said do one thing, and that's popcorn. And look at my career. I've done really two things in my total career, and it started out in pharma and biotech as an engineer, and I was striving to be the absolute best engineer that I could possibly be. And over time, new possibilities opened up to me, and I moved to project management. Eventually, I started my own company. When I started that company, then I just fell in love with the components of entrepreneurship and seeing how business works. And so I followed that path because new and bigger opportunities were being opened up to me. And so whatever you're doing, just be the absolute best at it when you start and you don't have very many skills. Just obsess, do one thing and do it really, really well. The next is to take action. You can't just put goals out there and say it's going to come to me. I'm entitled to it. You got to go get it. You got to go after it, attack those goals, put that plan that you've created, and every single day take 3 steps towards achieving that goal, that 90-day goal, which leads to your longer term goal. Maybe it's 5, 10, 15 years out. Who knows? Or maybe it's just 1 year. That's okay too. So the last thing is persevere. And what I would say to every young person is that everything is going to get hard. And at some point you're going to want to give up. Maybe you're going to want to give up every day, or maybe you want to sleep in a little bit, or whatever that might be. You're just not going to have the motivation. And so you got to do those hard things. Dan Sullivan at Strategic Coach, he jokes that the courage is about wetting your pants and then moving forward with wet pants. And so really that's exactly what it is. And that's really about perseverance. It's incrementally taking those movements forward, even when you don't particularly feel like it. Okay, so that's the advice that I would give to any young person that asks, which I get asked oddly often enough. And then I'm also asked, well, what books could I read? And so number one comes to mind is "So Good They Can't Ignore You" by Cal Newport. And really, that book is about, it's not about following your passion, following your dreams. You will get there. But when you start, you just have to be so good that people cannot ignore you, whether it's sweeping the floor or doing some mundane task that you are not particularly passionate about. If you get really good at that, all of a sudden possibilities open up to you. And so as you move along, those adjacent possibles start to take over. So Good They Can't Ignore You is number one. Number two, along those same lines, is the book Mastery. I just happen to have it here by Robert Greene, and talking about the 10,000 hour rule. Not exactly, but that these people who are known as super successful, and they kind of come out of nowhere. But the reality is they've probably spent at least 10,000 hours doing that one thing and becoming absolutely masterful at it. And it's a lifelong journey, sort of this approach of incrementally getting better and having the beginner's mindset. The expert learns nothing. The beginner learns continuously, even if it's on one thing. And so those are the two books that I would start with and see where that takes you. All right, so that's it for me. Love to have any questions, comments that you have in the comments below, and I look forward to hearing from you. See ya.